Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week, and your chance to participate with Kevin and Sean in the monthly Nash and Friends watch-along show. Head to KliqThisTV.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
Following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
I don't know if I could be able to sit here for 2 hours. It's insane. I threw my back out.
It's probably your kidneys, man. Injectable fucking diet.
No, I haven't started it yet. See everyone's comments on YouTube thinking I'm killing myself. No, I decided it would be wise for me, who could barely bend at the waist as it is. I'm barely a fucking upright human, to do my kitchen cabinets myself.
Oh, that's...
Yeah. Yeah. I bought... So, just for 2 days.
I tightened the screw on the cabinet, fucking went into spasm.
Oh, I removed all the doors, all the hardware, put a tarp across the deck outside. I have a fairly big deck. I was able to put 17 cabinet doors outside. Bought a sprayer, the paint sprayer. I thought I was all pimped out. But, 17 doors, 3 coats, both sides. At that, leaning at that 45-degree angle to get every bevel in the door. Holy Christ, but they look beautiful, I got to tell you. I'm not going to walk for them.
What did it save you?
Well,
$3 grand, $4 grand?
Probably, right?
Yeah.
It's worth a little pain.
Yeah,
is where you're
you know,
going.
it just... I'm past that stage in my life where... moving shit. Like, I ain't moving nothing.
Kevin, I'm with you. I mean, you're in so much better shape than I. You've got me by a few years. So, but I think that evens us out. You got me by a few years, but you're in better shape. So maybe we're in the same place, whereas 2 days of cabinet work would
cripple me.
Would bother your body. So there's that moment that whenever I undertake a big project like this, there is that moment where I'm overcome with what did I do? What have I done? And
see, I'd have to eat a Xanax because the anxiety of trying to talk myself into doing manual labor. I'd be like, fuck this, man. I'm having a panic attack.
But I get pretty excited because I'm removed from it. It's like... You know, it's like, yeah, like I'm thinking about the end result and the spray. I've never used a paint sprayer before, so like I'm excited about that. And then, like, when the reality hits, like when I have 17 one-coat painted doors surrounding me and the clouds moving above that weren't on my app. I was supposed to have 2 days of sunshine.
They never are.
And I said, oh, my God. I have a large umbrella that covers almost the whole deck. Start running stuff under, and I was like, this is madness. This would have been worth whatever I paid somebody. But you know what? It ended up being fine. It didn't rain. I got them in the house. I got them all screwed back in. Finished last night at like 6 o'clock. They look beautiful.
What'd Mama say?
Oh, she loves them.
I mean, but did you get like that kind of that fucking way to go, Sean?
No, like she likes to help. She wants to do it. She's like, what can I do? And I'm a control freak. So I want...
My answer would have been it.
Shop.
What can I do? It. All of it.
Yeah, here's everything.
I'll take your spot.
I was like, you know what? I think if you just keep the dog away from the door and keep, the kids, but she was very helpful, like running the individual cabinets up to me, taping the hardware. After you get the cabinet, you got to tape all the metal stuff so the sprayer doesn't paint it. So she handled that stuff, and it was fine. But still, it's just a lot. Now, so you talked about carrying stuff. So she's in a fall frenzy. She wants to redo everything, right? So the next is we have hardwood floor throughout the whole house. So now, 2 years ago, we did all 3 bedrooms upstairs and the hallway hardwood. So what we had to do was move all the furniture into one room. My guy, Joe Giovanni, did the 2 rooms in the hallway. Next morning, before he comes, everything out of the master bedroom into the 2 bedrooms. He does the master. We put everything back. I said, Joe, if I do all the moving, what's the price? It was a great price if I did all the moving. So I got a dolly. I'm pushing armoires down the hallway, Kevin. That was the moment I had the what did I just do? No. So what's next? What's next for me now after the cabinet doors? We got to do the downstairs, the living room and dining room, the hardwood. So now I got to find a way to put everything from the living room into the dining room and the kitchen so that room could be done.
Yeah, that's called 2 men in a truck.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck that.
But you know what? Speaking of health, I barely see a scratch on your face when last week it looked like a shot from Hustler magazine. You had a significant gash, but you're healing well. But you kind of teased that. You said that you have superior genetics in that.
No,
way.
I mean, I didn't want to say anything because it's kind of personal, but now that it's over with, I hadn't been circumcised yet. So I went ahead and let him take my foreskin off to use it for a
graft?
Graft on my face. And then what was left over, I got a nice pair of size 15 slippers and an ottoman.
A little real leather slippers.
Yeah, so I
Good
mean,
for you.
you're talking about some fucking. The only thing is, man, that every once in a while, if I rub my feet together for too long, then fucking.
They become size 24s?
Yeah, they just get like fucking like boat oars. It's unbelievable.
You know who had a worse day in personal health than both of us was Tommy Tuberville.
Oh.
Then I don't know where Where was he landing?
Uranus.
Kevin, he took almost an entire flight of stairs. Were they iced or something? Here he is getting off the plane.
This is what a fucking
Miami
douche.
Air International. So there he is.
I'm not going to give anybody a raise. Fuck, we don't need generals. We don't
looks
need
like he's-
anything.
He took the whole thing. How do you?
How about
He's
dropping
wearing
the-
sneakers.
How about dropping the bags, you dumb fuck?
He's holding his right hand holds on to that purse, that
Yeah.
merce the entire way. Like
I
it's
didn't
gonna
realize
stop
he had the nuclear fucking football.
Oh my God! That
You know, I'd almost say I hope he didn't get hurt, but fuck, what's he gonna do? Get brain damage? That's fucking
happened.
impossible. Like
That
fucking,
type-
like dropping a bowling ball. The bowling ball would take more fucking significant internal damage than that fucking bean is.
he didn't. He had to take 25 steps.
Let's see.
He wasn't.
Let's
able
see how
to
many he
come
got.
to a
1,
stop.
2, 3, 4.
If you count the one he slips on, which is right. Let's see. We're doing the Zapruder gimmick.
Back and to the left.
All right, play it through. Let's see where we go here. If you can,
If you're,
I don't know if you can frame.
If you're
it,
not
Vance.
watching this, this is definitely worth fucking.
Yeah, this is worth
We'll
jumping
put
over
this,
to YouTube.
We'll put this on a clip. Steve will put this on a clip for you so we can fucking make fun of this asshole.
The sheer amount of real estate he covers with his ass
Here we go. Okay.
is incredible. I think it's the third step is the bad one, right?
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
It's at least 8 steps.
I'm going to say 10 to 12.
Because you can't even tell where he stops.
It's
because it
almost
gets
like he
obscured
knew
by
he was
a
coming
worker.
because he let the blonde go. Hold on. Stop it right there because she's on the step he falls. Let's say how many are below her? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 steps below him. And then the actual tarmac. So he's going 10 in the tarmac if he takes the full bump.
That's what might break his feet hitting the tarmac. Might have been what broke the slide. If there was 47 steps, I think he would have taken them all.
Yeah.
Play it through. Let me see where
thank God he
stops.
wasn't on the summit of Everest.
Right. Okay, so here he comes, stepping down. 2 bags, one a wheelie carry-on, and then So. See, it's hard to see because it cuts before the whole full.
I think he shits himself about right there.
So it's
10.
10. Yeah.
That's 10 the hard way.
Back
Good old Miami Air International, boy. If I could count all the fucking frequent flyers miles I got on that bad boy.
You ever been?
Fuck no. Where the hell's he landing where it's that cold for Miami Air? Right?
Well, so we'll just bring this up throughout the night. We don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Sometimes I think it might be
all in
fucking
one shot.
Kennedy. It might be fucking Robert Kennedy Jr. taking a fall there.
Unbelievable.
No,
Did you catch the trailer for the Von Erich film Iron Claw that we talked about?
No, I did not.
It looks good. Steve, would we be allowed to play it? I'm curious on Kevin's take on who plays the workers. I think what's his name?
I don't think we can play it because I'm a Screen Actors Guild and I can't.
You can't support the playing of the trailer as it might entice
as
sales.
I could not be on a premiere or a red carpet so no, we can't see it.
I have a serious I have an honest question as a fellow union member. The writer's strike was over, and the late night hosts went back, but those are all after jobs. Those are all SAG-AFTRA jobs. Why are they working?
Well, because they're not actors.
Yeah, but it's the same union.
Yeah, but they could have.
The strike isn't only for scripted; it's for everybody.
No, it's completely different.
Clearly, because they're back to work. But I just wanted to know what the caveat was.
I mean, Larry David, fuck this. That show is so lightly scripted. It's unbelievable.
It's mostly improv. So put the visual for Iron Claw for a minute. I want to see what Kevin thinks of Kerry, which is, of course, I always forget the actor's name, and I like him.
I actually thought that fucking from a distance, Bam Bam Gordy looked about the best of all of them. I didn't think Kerry looked anything like Kerry.
I wouldn't have thought if we just talked about it, but then when I saw how it was shot, and yeah, Gordy from a distance, and Michael Hayes looks good too in the. Okay, so we're just for our folks that are listening, we're playing the trailer. This is the film that is going to in December be released, covering the Von Erich dynasty and the tragic. So a lot of the young. See, it doesn't. See, he looks good, right?
No.
You don't think he looks good as Kerry when he's in it, like in his gear?
Nope.
He's in the
Let's
ring.
not play anymore. I don't want to lose fucking 23 years of fucking pension over fucking some goddamn claw thing on my.
Analyze. Can you the still? Can we look at that still of the free birds?
We're done.
Unbelievable.
We're done. I'm not unless I got a back end on that motherfucker. I could give two shits.
Well, this gets me to my point, and the reason I wanted to bring it up. We got an email from. I still talk to Gary Hart's son, Jason, who he's a sports writer in Dallas, so he covers the Cowboys. So he always sends me little tidbits and stuff from training camp. But he just wrote me today. He goes, "Hey brother, saw the trailer for the Von Erich movie. Kev should have played Brody, and you should have played Gino." Who the hell alive would have thought I could have played Gino Hernandez? But Jason Williams, actually. But he thought you should have been Brody. So maybe for Halloween, for the Halloween episode, you can come on as Brody, and I'll be gorgeous Gino Hernandez.
I'll pass.
Okay, well then I'll be Brody and Gino
Brody.
throughout the show. I'll change outfits. Feedback from last week's episode, Jason Thompson.
Can we get something before we go?
Yes.
Can I just go into something here?
Can we clear the air?
Yes. Okay. So, last week, we were talking about the WWE's acquisition of Jade Cargill. I gushingly said that how attractive she was. Sean said, did you see, did she show up at the performance center? I said, oh, she showed up in skin tight black tights and a crop top with sunglasses and a headband, and it was pretty damn clear that we were doing a little bit. And then Sean threw a couple of things back and forth, and Sean said, so you wouldn't go back to AEW? Or you wouldn't go to AEW? I said, yeah, maybe for $5 to $6 million and a private airplane. I said, but the reason I was going to go just came and was signed by the WWE. I didn't say that I was signed. I didn't say I got a new deal. I didn't say any of that shit, you stupid fucking wrestling news people. Why don't you follow something up? Number one, what, did somebody call you? And you obviously didn't listen to it because you would have known that I was talking about Jade, not about me. I haven't signed shit. You couldn't get me in a fucking ring if you held me by... I mean, you'd shoot me in the back of the head before I'd get into a fucking ring. Fucking Paul Levesque was probably 46, 45 years old when he went to the Saudi Arabian and did a fucking Harley race over the top and tore his fucking pec. Fuck. I blew a quad taking a step. You think I'm getting in the fucking ring at 64?
But so what happens is one outlet probably mishears or misinterprets you saying the only reason to go to AEW just signed with WWE, meaning Jade. Mishear it, didn't listen to the first part of the show when you were talking about
But
Jade.
how does that sentence become me getting a new deal?
Because they only heard the words signed with WWE.
She.
Well, I think it was the only. Yeah, look at this. Kevin Nash confirms new WWE contract. Has Kevin Nash signed a new contract with them? So, what is the? Do they quote it the right way? Click in and find the quote. I don't want to give a hit to the website, but see if you can find the exact quote in the article. And did they write it the right? Unless it's $5-6 million and a private jet. Don't highlight it. I can't read it. The only thing that would have got me to AEW, WWE just signed. Jade.
Nothing about me signing.
WWE has been very good to Kevin Nash over the years. Not only is his old friend Triple H running the creative direction for the company, but Big Kev is also a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. We'll have to see who AEW signs next, but it won't be Kevin Nash. What's your take on AEW never getting Kevin Nash? That's unbelievable.
Who cares?
Oh, did our video pop up as a play on that? Yeah. That's funny.
That's important. I'll take that.
That's a play. That's a click.
We'll take a click.
But Kev, that was kind of funny. You called me, and I didn't know the quote that it would have been attributed to. And when you told me, I was like,
when it said that, I just like, are you fucking kidding me?
But stay in the news. I like when you're in the news. Say something outrageous today. Jason Thompson was listening last week as well, and he said was first.
I don't look like I'm ready for the Rumble, do I?
You could handle it, but you'd take a gun to the back of your head before you got in the ring.
No, that's what people always say. You can come in 31st. I'm not going to Mania, which means I'm going over the top rope at some point.
Right.
That's like the ladder match. So am I going over? No. That means I'm taking a bump off the top of the ladder. Great.
Double J, Jeff Jarrett, here with a few of my pals to tell you about the total nonstop savings happening over at SaveWithConrad.com.
My name is Chance Ellis, and I'm a top guy from Chalmette, Louisiana. Well, after months, actually years at the time of listening to the podcast, I guess I heard the marketing efforts, and I decided to pick up the phone and give them a call and see if they can help me. I wanted to see if I can lower my term and payments. I got to work with Mr. Larry. It was very, very convenient. He was always there to answer my calls. He would work with me via text, email, just kind of at my own convenience. So it was actually really nice. I got to keep my monthly payment just about the same. However, we cut down 10 years on the life of the whole mortgage, and I believe it was right around $200,000. So I saved a whole lot. So I'm top guy Chance Ellis. I've saved 10 years off the life of my mortgage and about $200,000 thanks to SaveWithConrad.com.
In my world, it doesn't get any better than 5 stars. Find out how much money Conrad and his team can save you by strutting over to SaveWithConrad.com. So right now, strut on over to SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
Was one of the first people in line at SummerSlam morning, says Jason. Such an amazing guy. Me and my son were nervous as hell. He was so cool and social, was the highlight of our day, and we met Sting, Nash, Hardy Boys, Brett, and a few others. Thank you, sir. Us fans are grateful for your kindness. This is in response to what you were talking about in the signing up in Jersey when they were trying to move you along. En Rude also confirms, and he says, having been in line at a Nash autograph signing in the Northeast, he does make sure the fans go home happy. I spent a lot on the 3 8x10s, title signed, picture taken with, and he took a lot of time with me. And he asked to borrow a silver Sharpie for show in case others brought title belts. I said he can keep it because I have many. So he gave me another autograph for free, and I can't say how cool he is to the fans. Others would get told off, but us fans he does appreciate. So there you go. Confirmation.
Yeah, they've been paying my bills for 30 fucking years.
Exactly. Todd Snyder, only Big Kev can make me laugh while telling a story about getting skin cancer removed from your face. The Augusta grounds crew comment made me laugh my ass off. Thanks for making the early part of my week at work better.
If I could have, when that guy put that mirror down and he showed me that hole in my face, I'd have probably thrown up in my mouth and died. I was like, Jesus, dude.
If anyone didn't see last week, we had a close-up of the removal. But looking good this week, big dog. Marky fucking Mark says, Kev and Sean are somehow both depressing and comforting at the same time. This podcast is like listening to Nirvana while drinking gin.
Well, that's your problem. Nobody likes the taste of gin.
I like gin.
Drink something else.
You don't like gin? Well, you don't do anything but wine, do you? I ordered an old fashioned at the restaurant.
No, you ordered
like
a Scooby. You ordered a Scooby Doo old fashioned. It was in some Mr. Whitman's lantern case with smoke coming out. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was a smoked old fashioned. When they're on the menu, you have to get them.
Like I don't get enough fucking people staring at me when I go someplace. Let my partner get some fucking drink that looks like 19 fucking
right.
30s.
That's what that drew the attention to the table.
Dr. Frankenstein drink, with the fucking smoke coming out.
Not the 9-foot tall guy throwing elbows to the woman's chair behind him. It was my drink.
It's okay if the fucking bitch outweighs you by 30 pounds.
Ron Ward, I think Kevin totally could have gotten this Florida man or Jersey guy. I automatically knew the guy crashing into the police station was with Guns N' Roses blasting was Jersey, because if it was Florida, then it would have been Lynyrd Skynyrd. That's a fine theory.
I don't remember it being Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle was blasting and crashed through the police.
Well, if it's the new one, you wouldn't have known what the fuck it was.
No, it would sound like someone raping a walrus or something, or a wallaby. I am Thurnis. Kev, I lost my sister 5 days after you lost T last year, and I've always felt that I've had a weird grief bond with you, parasocially, the last year. Just sending my love and positive vibes your way, because I know this year Mark is going to be a rough one for me in a few weeks. I know you can relate, and just want to say thank you for helping.
I had a wonderful day today. Tamara and I went and did the final signing and all that of our wills and trusts, and so.
Right. See, that's stuff. People go to the obvious stuff, probably, right? When I think of someone in your situation, well, there's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's
I think we don't think about. That's
stuff.
Never fucking
grown up shit.
Yeah, it's not for the weak.
And it's when you watch the show Successions, and you watch the last season of it, knowing you have nobody to succeed you. The fucking show doesn't have the same, the old man dies. The 4 kids don't go down to the fucking, that would have been a different show, right? The 4 kids on the way over to that fucking place go down.
Oh, God, on the plane?
And Cox is the only one. The fucking cocksuckers.
Couldn't even stay alive for me. Yeah. He'd have Tom, though.
You're fucking weak. He'd kill Tom just out of fucking just anger.
Tom Talker 2000 says, that Delta experience you had, Kevin, where that flight attendant had the same name as your son, that to me was divine intervention, no doubt about it. Your son's looking out for you without question, and that's just a wonderful feeling. God bless. The little things, right?
No, yeah, man, that's
find.
And I'm sitting there and I'm going like, wow, like I'm actually going to fucking have to sit in this seat just jammed. That's a 2-hour and 15-minute flight. I'm like, wow, God, this is gonna be so fucking miserable. And and then all of a sudden he walked back to me, just looked at me, and goes, just go sit in that first seat. I'm like, serious? He goes, yeah. He goes, I think he said, you got 3 million miles. I think you've earned it. I'm like, oh.
Good point.
Don't ask me twice.
Can I bring up? I saw. Is it New Ink Tamara was showing, or is that an old?
No, that's Tristan had that same tattoo.
I didn't know that.
Tristan had the same tattoo. The little boy with the balloon.
Yeah.
But Tamara added the wings.
Okay.
And then when they did it, she brought some of Tristan's ashes. So when they put the ink in, they put T's ashes inside her with the ink.
I didn't know that.
Yep, that was one of his tattoos. So,
Yes.
no, she would never have gotten ink. She was like, no.
That's something.
Yep.
There. Yeah, Joe Rivera Comedy reached out to say Oliver proves comedy is timing. Like the reading of this line. Drops a line that makes a cricket cringe when Nash is sharing a thoughtful and sympathetic story. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Then Legend Killer wrote, you didn't do the Mad Dog Vachon, did you? That was when you were talking about the actress that
Right.
you noticed was coming at you with the prosthetic. Like, I guess at that point I asked if you did the Vachon. You know, I can't yet read the plug for the next Kliq This TV, which you guys can be a part of just by going to kliqthisTV.com and signing up. And you get the Nash and Friends every month, as well as these shows commercial free, 2 days early, all of our previous Nash and Friends. But I can't say yet who it is because we need confirmation on him. But how can I give a hint? How about the Detroit?
How about
Connect?
this? How about this?
Yeah.
It'll be worth. It'll be paparazzi worthy.
Okay.
How
Very
about
good. Very good. So you do still have time to sign up. Well worth the monthly shillings. We have football picks for this week. We went 2-1 last week, which put us back tied for second place. I think we're 10-7-1 total. So,
Did anybody have 3 wins?
someone let us know. Bring up that graphic that has the. Okay, yeah, Foley went 3-0, which means who the hell was that? Dom, was that you? Or who picks for Mick? There's no way Mick has time for this. Let us know in the comments. Oh, Conrad.
Steve said Conrad.
Okay.
Who else who else did he pick for? So he picked for Foley, but didn't get the other ones he picks for.
He forced himself to go with different teams, I guess. So we're 10-7-1 to Mick's 11-7. We had that damn tie.
But Foley is okay. So he's in first.
Yeah. We are tied with My World for second. Jeff. All right, but so this week's picks.
I know Jeff's definitely doing his own picks.
Yes, absolutely. Our picks this week are all pro. Everybody who's listening live, you get the benefit of being able to jump on the bandwagon, get on your app, get on your DraftKings app. This is, of course, the King of the Mountain contest sponsored by DraftKings. We have Detroit giving 3.5 to Tampa Bay, because how do you not take Detroit week after week with their covering? Seattle getting 2.5 from Cincinnati. And then Philly giving 7 to the Jets. And there they are, yeah. Looking strong. 6-0. Got to be respected. And against the spread, 3-1-1. Jets are 3-2 against the spread, though. I did win with the Jets last week.
Lions are 4-1 against the spread.
Exactly. How do you not do it?
Got to take them, man.
Last year they were the golden child last year.
Yeah.
So now that this merger or purchase is complete, now the news this week is that Triple H is steering
the news is that I should have sold my stock at $106 because that shit fucking when it merged went down to about 86.
Which I never understand. Usually the acquired gets a big bump. What were you at its height? 106?
I don't know what it was. It was over 100 when I was going to sell it.
That's when we were last year, right? Didn't it go that high last year? When we were...
No, but it was right before it was.
Yeah, look at that.
104.
Okay.
Boom.
Well, see where it goes, for God's sakes.
What was it today? It's down another $4. I got one of my portfolio statements today. It's always nice when you look at it, you do the math, and you're basically 2.3% down on all your money. And then good old Berkshire Hathaway, you fucking look at that, it makes you 4% in a market that's, shit.
It's the Oracle. The Oracle of Omaha.
And I thought it was, all this time, I thought it was Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, they look similar. All right, so the story that's being carried is that now Vince McMahon is stepping back and allowing, it'd have to be Paul, it'd have to be Triple H to run the show again.
Oh,
now,
don't let Bischoff see that on our show.
What? Why?
Dave Meltzer.
Oh, the Meltzer quote. Yeah, well, but here's the thing. Talks of the merger. Vince, it's been his ship. He's 70, what is he, 77? 78, right? But it's been his ship. He was like Jason, up on steroid charges, the sex scandals, nothing could take him down. And he plowed ahead, and they're the only game in town. So Vince steering the ship is stability for Wall Street. Not everybody that invests knows the business. They know business, but not the business.
Yeah, they know Vince.
They know Vince. And it's his company, the family business, and he's back. He's back. That makes Wall Street pretty sweet, right?
Well, when people see that Instagram thing where he says, in whatever it was that he bought the company for $1 million, sold it for $9 billion. That's like, wow. Would you put that guy in charge of anything? I might.
Right.
But you know what? I equate it to this. The time period would be when Red Auerbach stepped down from Boston. Mm-hmm. So Red realizes that he's going to step back and he's going to let Russell coach. You still got, it's not like Red Auerbach. You can't look at Red and go, hey, Red, what do you think about this? Hey, Red, what do you think about... You still have Red Auerbach. He ain't going no place.
Like Michael Corleone said, who is a better consigliere than my father when the Don was still alive?
Right. And that's the thing. It's like you can't have... I just can't imagine that when Ari bought the company, that he was buying it with the vision of having a 77-year-old head of creative.
But
when he could have a 54-year-old head of creative. But
was very aware.
But knowing that he was, yes.
Right.
Knowing that, he still had fucking Hoyt Wilhelm, that at 60 years old could still throw 7 innings of knuckleballs. But
the second reference day, who was the one in the pre-show, the ABA player that you?
I asked about Dolph Schayes.
Dolph Schayes.
Dolph Schayes autograph. He was the commissioner of the ABA
oh, my
for
God.
a year or two. I had an ABA. I had a horrible rotation, and I was given a real, this is, the ABA was alive and kicking when I was a kid. And I missed the ABA draft by like 2 years. Like I would have came out of college and got drafted by an ABA team.
Was it that late? What, 77?
75.
75. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So everything's a work, right? So Vince coming back. I just remember the furor of, oh, Vince was out on the charts. Now Vince is back. Triple H must be upset that Vince is back. But this was probably a tacit agreement, right? Vince come back, face of the company, face of the legacy that WWE is. Just be patient, son. Let's let all this go through.
Anybody that
let
watched
the dust settle.
Watched when he was when Paul was first anointed and given creative, the product was just amazing. I mean, within three or 4 weeks, it was clear. And see, this is what people don't understand about Paul. Paul came up with the whole NXT thing, like the whole concept. And as I sat there, and he was laying it out to me, he was like, I'm like, yeah, because it's just like minor league. Like you got to have like a system that teaches your system. Like, so they they don't come in from the indies with bad habits. They come in the way you guys want them to come in. He just looked at me and says, that's one aspect. He says, Kev, he goes, it's so fucking hard to produce what we do at the degree that we do it. He goes, when you think of Turner and he says, those guys 1 week are shooting race cars. The next week they're shooting pro wrestling or the NBA. So you don't have that specific guy that just knows. Because after 2 years, these guys move sets as well as anybody. If you're a camera guy, okay, he's doing that. It's Balor, so now he's going to go do the fucking stomp. So I got to get, so I've got to get up on these stairs so I get the shot down because this guy's covered. But see, only somebody that is thinking 2 moves ahead is thinking about, no, I'm going to create a minor league for everything, including their own truck. Like they
meaning that it's not just a training ground for the talent.
It's
but
training
the guys that are going to be
ground.
shooting Raw in 3 years
Yes.
are going to learn at NXT.
And the people that are in the truck calling the shots, they're doing give me camera 1, give me 3, give me, the guys that are doing audio, the guys that are doing packages.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is self-sufficient. Everything is, so you're basically building not only a brand, but lo and behold, if it was the Evansville situation or Marshall, when the team went down and you had NXT, you'd have some place to start,
Right?
where everybody else would not. My heart and thoughts go out to anybody that knows anybody or anybody that was involved in either of those tragedies. But I was just using them as a example, not for sensationalism.
So point well taken about the vision and about NXT, and so now it's safe. So now it's safe to step back, Vince to put everything back in Paul's hands,
And then all of a sudden you go head to head with AEW and you beat them by 300,000.
That did happen. We are going to talk about that. I want to ask you one more aspect of the whole Triple H and Vince and creative, because this is going to be talked to death on every. We try we'll discuss stuff through the week, right, as stuff comes up. And if there's just nothing more to say on something, like last week with the McCarthy thing and that speaker, we're like, well, it's been covered to death. Everyone's
there was
so
something
we look
to
for an
talk about.
angle that maybe we could add some insight. So I want to ask you, Vince, stability for Wall Street, but your locker room is a different story. The guys involved in creative, not from a writing standpoint, but their characters. It's affecting them. The decisions in creative directly affecting their character, their title runs, their TV time, their careers, in essence, since it's WWE or bust. What do you think the locker room looks like with a Paul versus a Vince? Now, you haven't been in it.
Here's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
I read a quote, and it was a WWE. It was either on Instagram. It was either Paul's personal Instagram, but I believe it was the WWE's Instagram, and they were talking about the departure of Edge, and it said that and Paul said, Adam and I sat down. They both had come to the kind of the agreement where Edge had done what he could, and he might be happier someplace else because they were going to be using probably younger talent, and Paul shook his hand and wished him the best of luck, like no hard feelings, and thanked him for the 18, 20 years, whatever he gave him. And basically then turned around, he says, now I get to go in that locker room and go, Edge's spot's open. Which one of you guys wants to step up and get it? That's the difference. Like, whoa, like, I'm not, because, for so long, people would sit around there and wait for Vince to anoint them. I'll sit here, and sooner or later I'll get the sword tapped on each side of my shoulder. No, man, the sword's in the stone. You better be the one that can pick that motherfucker through it.
We're right. Whereas Paul's mentality is, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do
to go get your spot?
Come get the spot. Earn the spot. I'll give you the opportunity. Just earn it.
Right. Very good. Listen, sports enthusiasts and ball game aficionados, it's that magical time of year. Football's in full swing. Baseball is back. The baseball playoffs have us on the edge of our seats. But speaking of ball games, it's time to talk about the champion of the grooming game. That's right, Manscaped has just launched the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's like having the sixth man on your team, ensuring you stay
smooth.
Did
you get yours today?
I got mine yesterday.
I got mine. Look at my beard.
Haven't fired anything up yet, but it's like having the sixth man on your team. Don't strike out with this offer. Head over to manscaped.com. Use that code KLIQ. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping. Guys, what are you waiting for? Trust us. With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, you'll be the real MVP, both on and off the field. And at the peak of ball season, we're introducing the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra as well, which takes your grooming precision to a whole new level. The Lawnmower 5.0 uses 2 enhanced skin-safe blade heads. First, head with an upgraded trimmer to get your grass in playing condition, then a dual foil blade for top-notch smoothness. We all know football is a game of inches, but Manscaped knows grooming is a game of millimeters. Also inside this bundle, Made for Balls features a new Weed Whacker 2.0 for the ear and nose hair, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Soother Toner, the little spray gimmick Kevin likes to take on the road, plus 2 free gifts. All right, the playoffs are no joke, and neither is this. Make the right call with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code KLIQ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code KLIQ. We've got balls and beard trimmers, but mostly balls. It's time for the stiff one of the week. We've been talking about Vince a little bit here. So this is Jericho. He was doing a Q&A, and he talked about Vince and working for Vince, and particular angle with Triple H, and wanted to see some rehearsal first. So this is what Vince said.
All this sort of thing. I remember one time we were rehearsing it, of me hitting Triple H with a sledgehammer, and Vince would want you to rehearse as if it's real. Well, you can't rehearse if you're really doing it because there's no crowd. The crowd is where you get the vibe and the adrenaline, and the whole kind of energy comes from that. And plus, you're in character when you're in front of the camera. When you're not in front of the camera, you're just hanging out, and you're like, you're rehearsing. And Vince would be like, do it harder. And I was like, okay, I'm not in the moment yet. And I remember he goes, oh, you don't want to do it? And this is what he said, and females, please cover your ears if you're easily offended. He goes, what are you, on the rag or something? I remember thinking, you big-eared, big-nosed motherfucker. I'm going to punch you right in your stupid face right now.
You ever get that, Kev? You ever get a Woody on the rag?
Knock that toupee right off his head.
Did you ever get one of those?
We finally built it up, and we had the match.
Did you ever get a you on the rag, Diesel? Big D?
No.
Okay. I love all Vince stories. I wanted to compile with the hundreds.
But see,
of hours.
I wasn't there too long during the fucking let's have a rehearsal thing.
Oh, right.
I remember the first time they fucking said 1 o'clock rehearsals, and I was like, what? I'm fucking like sitting in the back fucking around, and a runner comes looking for me, we got to get out of the building now. We got 7 seconds before the explosives go off. And they're like, they're in the ring waiting on you. I said, for what? Rehearsal. So, they play the music. Scott and I come down, and I got my fucking script of what I'm supposed to say in my back pocket, folded very nicely. I haven't looked at it yet. It's fucking 1 o'clock. And I'm supposed to know this. And Stephanie said to me, she goes, can I tell you that I'm not, what did she say? How did she put it? You're not putting me at ease with your lack of preparedness. And I was just like, I said, you're kidding me, right? I said, when the time comes, I said, I'll do it. I said, I can't come out here. I said, you want to go off page? I'll do that. Like if you do it a sitcom, okay, but it's day one, we're off page. I'll just read it. And I just read it, and she got pissed. And
this is the time when you had to stick to the script?
Yes. And of course, when the time came and the red light was on, I bullet pointed it. And got fucking screamed at for that. And I'm thinking, it doesn't matter what I say as long as the last thing out of my mouth is the cue for them to start their shit. Right?
Well, is it?
That's acting 101.
Right. You're right. And most directors would be fine with that. But do they want it that way?
Yes, they wanted it that way because they didn't have people that they had been in the business cutting, they didn't have, number one, we didn't have writers when I was there.
Yeah, well, right.
If you came up with your own shit. And
But do they want it to protect what the writers have crafted, the message very delicately, or are they just afraid you're going to say something on live TV that they're going to get in trouble for?
No, I don't think it was that
company?
at all. I don't think it was that. It could have been, because I was always with but it's pretty hard to like after the hand with I always call it the Mark Henry hand, like after that, like you're worried about what I'm going to say.
Well, you have different times.
I'm not gonna use any of the 7 words,
But I would suggest that it's because a stock price is tied to everything that comes out of all of your mouths on television. So they need to control that message.
I think it was just control in general.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just control because after you win the war, it's like there's no place to go. Then it's like, what are you gonna do? Either you play by you play by that rule, or there's no room for you.
Well, we'll find out next week. Nash and Friends, Stephanie McMahon. Here's the big announcement. That'll be carried everywhere. I know. I'd love to have her here.
I've never had. No, I've just. I wouldn't drag her in this shit.
Oh.
What are we going to do? I'll talk to her about being a mom. I'm not talking wrestling with her.
I'll tell you what we're going to talk. We're going to talk Dear Sexy. It's the return of Dear Sexy. Actual letters from the Dear Abby archives. If you had been asked for advice on these very issues. So the first one says, Dear Sexy, what do you do when your daughter's ex-boyfriend continues to call you and ask for information about her personal life and activities? After 2 years of dating, Anna ended the relationship. There were vast differences in their maturity and goals, and she had been unhappy for some time. Our family always welcomed him into our home, and I think because of this, he feels that I'll sympathize with him. I've told him I cannot and will not give out information that is no longer his concern, yet he continues to call. He cries, tells me how much he loves her, that he cannot live without her. This is beginning to frighten me, as I've seen him driving down our street late at night with the headlights turned off. He is not a teenager. He's 24. My daughter insists that he would never harm her, but his denial of reality makes me very concerned. Signed, a worried mom.
I don't know what year this is, but even if the Beach Boys are playing in the background on a first run, I'm sure they had some kind of restraining order. If you're 24 years old and you're crying to someone, no. And number 2, is she a widow? She didn't have a husband?
Where's Dad, you mean?
Yeah. How about fucking, let me talk to you out back. Give you a little bit of a beating. Give him the Bradley order when a guy's running his dick sucker across the street working on the vet, and he comes over with the butt into the 38.
Oh, yeah. Goodfellas.
Some people would have been scared, but something about it just turned me on.
So you would get involved with this young man and maybe convince him that his time better spent on other blocks with his headlights off.
Or do the real fucking cold-blooded mom. Listen, Jimmy.
Blow him.
I'm not supposed to say anything, but between you and I, he's got 3 more inches of cock than you do. You're never getting her back. Something like that.
This is exactly why we have this segment, Kevin. Because that's not what Abby wrote.
No.
Dear Sexy, I need some advice on how to handle a sticky situation with my in-laws. My husband's father carries a concealed handgun in his pocket, and in addition to this, his wife carries one in her purse. My father-in-law is in his early 70s, and it was not until recently that I learned they carried these loaded weapons everywhere they go. This includes our home. We have a child under the age of 1, and I am so afraid that the gun may go off while my father-in-law is holding our child. The other possibility is that it may go off in a public place. My father-in-law does have a concealed gun permit, but the thought of his gun going off by accident, injuring our child or someone else, has me really upset. My husband says if it bothers me, I should say something to his father. How should I bring this up to the in-laws if my husband will not talk to his dad about this? I really do want to have a good relationship with my in-laws, but guns in my home or around my child at any time will not be tolerated. Please help. That's from Desperate in Dallas.
Should have married a Democrat.
Don't say another word. Perfect. That was a high spot for me. And if this is the high spot of the show, it's got to be brought to you by Mickey Ray Sinatra and the Get Blitzed Lit Aid.
Oh!
That's right. This is nano-infused Delta-9 THC sip and syrup. Kev, when's the last time you had a little of the Get Blitzed?
Last night, I went in at 10. I took some at 10 o'clock last night.
And did that lock you to the couch for an entire season of
No, what did I watch last night?
Moonlighting is on Hulu now. I can't wait to get to it. I'm the only one excited about this. I'm the only one.
I know we watched coverage. God, we got home late last night. We were doing something, Tam and I were. We got home later, and then I had watched like zero news coverage all day. So
That's fun after getting your buzz on. Turn on a little CNN.
Just But and this is the thing that kills me is what's going on in the Middle East right now. I understand that it's current, and it's beyond horrific. But I don't think that the Ukrainian situation became any less critical. And then you've got...
Oh, you mean the sexy placement of what?
Yeah,
what
and you've still got the Republicans on a fucking complete circle jerk.
Moving Scalise into the place. But you know what? And we're going to talk about that.
But only because they found out that fucking our boy was on the Sandusky team in Ohio State. Fuck.
But you know what? This will still be here after I remind people that the Delta-9 Sip and Syrup is potent stuff. And, it's like THC on steroids. It's a syrup. And what Kevin does, he mixes it in any beverage, like the tea. I think Kevin likes the Zero Sprite, right?
Yes.
Sprite Zero, with a little bit of the, what's the flavor with that? Oh, no, key lime pie.
Lemon lime.
Going right in there. And nano-infused means it goes right to your bloodstream, okay? This is not gas station Delta-8 bullshit. This is the real deal. THC Delta-9, the THC you get from the marijuana. Listen, if you live in Maryland, you can swing by the Stay Lit Smoke Shop. But for the rest of us, it's legal right now, currently, to ship from Get Blitzed to all 50 states. So check out their website as long as you're over 21, and you can save 15% by entering the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at checkout. You're going to go to get-blitzed.com. That's get-blitzed.com. You're going to enter that promo code KLIQ and get your jam on, okay? It's the Delta-9 THC Sip and Syrup Lit Aid from Get Blitzed. You can save 15% with that promo code.
So one of my buddies watched the show, and he said, "Seriously, man, is that stuff?" And I said, "Run it back and order it." I said, "If it's not what I said it was," I said, "I'll personally double back your money." So I get a text. He goes, "Spot on." That's all I put. Spot on. I said, "Dude," we don't push things that we do, like that's. I said, and it's a nice buzz, right? He goes, yeah. He said, you weren't kidding about it. It hits you fast. I'm like, yeah, it's not like, these people do these edibles and they get impatient. They do like a gummy, they get impatient. And your tolerance. Mine's 15 milligrams of gummies if it's not going to hit me, I'm not supposed to be high. And so the first time I did the nano, it was just like, I didn't even get a chance to say, is this going to hit? I was just like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, this is one of those ones where, like, you got to have your hydration drink, your box of Kleenex, eye drops, nose spray. Yeah, you got to have it. I call that the Captain Kirk. You got to have this shit all around the fucking Enterprise. So all you got to do is lean that bitch back and drive.
Listen, Mickey Ray Sinatra, you should think about a chair. Maybe call it the Captain Kev chair. It's got a little receptacle in it where you drop the tissues, obviously the cup holder, and for the colostrum bottle, and the whatever you're going to use to hydrate. And then, you just sit there like the Captain Kev.
I got some colostrum.
Taking off.
God, I drink so much of this fucking colostrum.
Practically an ad in and of itself every week. You did mention the ratings, so it's be pointing.
Yeah, I saw a great Dr. Instagram. They had a little clip where Undertaker walks in HBK's office. And they, whoa, Undertaker. He goes, and Taker goes, I just want to tell you, man, I got my gear in the trunk. That was an old man Louis type deal, I work Fizz Ace or his Zeal. I got my shit in the Trizunk. And Sean says, you won't need your gear. And Taker says, well, did you see my last match? I thought, see, that's like, people think that Taker was always this solemn character. Like, it's like, no, man, like that's Mark, man. That's like, oh, we must have saw my last match.
Yeah, but no one sees that. You guys
no,
see it.
we were always blessed to see that, but it was nice to see it. Like, when I saw it today, I popped. I just fucking popped.
Yeah.
Because he's got some really, really dry, good sense of humor.
So the numbers from last night, of course, we're taping it on Wednesday, so I'm saying last night. If you're listening on a Monday, last week's head-to-head Tuesday night was, and this has, of course, been covered a million times by the time you're going to see it, NXT. Their total was 921,000 to AEW's 609,000. Now, I asked for the last week's shows also, and it was 800,000 with the unopposed AEW versus the 609 opposed. And then unopposed NXT was 857 to the opposed 921. So a little bump opposed
70,000 for NXT.
Right. But what it did was it pounded AEW down by 200,000. And if AEW wasn't on, I mean, NXT could have conceivably drawn all of that AEW audience, which would have been 1.5, which is exactly what Raw does.
Right.
Right. So it would have been a Raw-like rating without AEW opposed. So, and, quite honestly, Tony Khan this week with the it was reminiscent to me of like the Bischoff Vince.
Didn't he like throw a barb or a stiff one out there?
Yeah, bald assholes. He put the picture from the Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, where there's a Halloween episode. He doesn't want to give candy to the kids, and they spray paint his garage bald asshole. So he put a photo of that when he said something to the effect of, hey, Sean and Hunter, we'll see what happens this Tuesday night. And then a picture of bald asshole on the spray painted on the door there. So there was that, and then there was...
I don't get the correlation, but okay.
Well, I guess Sean maybe losing his hair and Trips shaved, so I guess. And then there was some verbal sparring.
Looks to me
attempted sparring.
Looks to me like the WWE was giving out the full-size candy bars.
Yeah, it seems that. So that's the thing.
Remember that when you were a kid? Fucking man, you go trick-or-treating with a pillowcase, and underneath you'd have like the old Ben Cooper costumes where you like, it was like a one-piece thing that you put on, and you had just like a plastic mask. The
plastic mask with
yeah. But then underneath the plastic mask, you'd fucking be a bum. You'd have the fucking cork, and so they had the good fucking full-size Milky Way or fucking Three Musketeer.
You could go back.
Circle back as the bum. Weren't you just here? No. I didn't. That wasn't me as the mummy. I'm fucking a bum.
I'm a bum. I'm the chimney sweep.
I'm
Dick Van Dyke.
All six of you? Pack of bums.
That is so street, man. That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
But that was the other one. The Who Gives a Fuck.
What's it say here? We're watching
NXT Big Dog, then I wasn't talking to you. Who gives a fuck? But so anyway, it just seemed like this constant attempt to draw out a reaction from the other side, looking for like a Bischoff Vince thing when the Monday Night Wars were hot.
Do you really think that's Tony fucking sending those?
Well, that's a fair point. But
I don't think he'd
allow.
I'm thinking, yeah, if somebody came in there trying to be edgy and said, hey Tony, that's I'm not gonna fucking do it. You can do it. Well, wide open. Well, just run it by me.
We have word it's 100% Tony.
We have word it's 100% Tony.
We have word that it is 100% Tony.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job.
So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that this.
No wonder Jade left.
I don't think this went as planned. The poking the bear thing didn't work. But I don't think that. I don't know. I've never run a wrestling company, clearly.
Then again, I'm not going to do a roll a quarter fucking spot during the middle of a Middle East crisis either.
So MJF.
What?
So MJF has in the past talked about being the recipient of anti-Semitism as a kid, and he specifically said kids throwing quarters. And then this week,
after fucking we get clarification that President Biden has actually seen the pictures of the beheaded children, we decide that this is something that obviously that
is fair game. Well, let me ask you, without the Hamas and Israel, which is white hot right now, it's burning very brightly right now over there.
I would hope so. Jesus, it's about the most horrific thing I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's definitely been escalated. The decades old tensions have been escalated to unseen. And
this is terrifying. This is not somebody that has a blind eye to the fucking strife of the Palestine, of the 2.199 million Palestinians that are doing absolutely nothing but being bombed,
caught between this
because they're stuck in a fucking, they're stuck between two checkpoints and 25 miles of fence on each side.
And as trite as wrestling is as a topic, as this is happening in the world, we don't in any way seek to. But we're talking wrestling here while this is going on, and then the angle with the quarters.
But it's still anti-Semitic, and besides probably the trans LGBTQ society, the next is the Jewish. The anti-Semitic hate is rifling. So do we even want to fucking put a match anywhere near something that could? It's like there's fucking heat, and there's cheap heat. You can go to the Humane Society and get a bag of kittens and have them go around the ring, and then round them up in a bag, and then take an aluminum baseball bat and smash them in the middle of fucking the ring. The people will piss and moan and they'll throw up and it'll be heat. I don't think it's the kind of heat you want.
So without the Gaza situation, the roll of quarters with Friedman written on it is still a bad move.
But the thing is, it's like saying, in a world with no hatred, it'd be okay to do the quarter thing. Well, yeah, because it wouldn't mean anything.
Well, it would be pointless to do it then, because it wouldn't generate heat.
Exactly, but I'm just saying, we don't live in that world.
But the Sheik waving the flag after the hostages in Iran, and I mean, we know Kaz doesn't hate America. He loves it. No one does the arch like an American woman.
That's a cartoon.
But the tensions were real, and to have him standing in the ring with an Iranian flag, I'm asking you, is there a difference?
Yes.
Versus the quarters with the free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Hostages. It'd be one thing if they would have sawed off 12 of the hostages' heads prior to taking the rest of them hostage.
I mean, without the Gaza situation, if that had not, well, there's always a Gaza situation, but without the escalation and the terrorist attack this week, if this was 3 weeks ago, would it have been okay to show the quarters with the Friedman name for the heat? Is that not like Kaz with the Iranian flag, with the hostages and the Iran-Contra situation? No. Okay.
No, because there wasn't people that wanted to cancel people. I mean, put it this way. The Sheik was doing that while Archie Bunker was calling his neighbors the N-word. I think it's I think we're in a different
world.
Little bit. I mean, a little bit.
Okay.
And if you're not smart enough to fucking, but then again, I'm not a multi-billionaire, nor is my father.
Meaning?
I guess.
If you're Tony Khan, a different set of rules? Maybe insulated from the real world a little bit? Is that where you're going with that? Or I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but is that what you meant? That a little out of touch with the everyday man?
I never will speak for another man, and I don't know how much of that process. I'm sure it's going to say down here 100%. I would like to get real answers as they look in their rearview mirror today.
MJF, a tweet. When was this? This morning. Okay, so the tweet from MJF says,
I don't blame him.
No, I just want to see his take. Take on it. Muhammad Hassan was portraying an evil Muslim terrorist. I'm actually Jewish. I've actually gone through this. This is my real life, my story. And I look forward to giving catharsis to every single person who's ever been oppressed or bullied. If you think I'd play with that or take it lying down, or worst of all, hide from the hard conversations like a coward, you're on crazy pills. I look forward to the hard conversations this starts and creates. I look forward to people being further educated. My life's work is to stand up to any and all injustices done to people due to something as stupid as being different. To anyone who thinks this can't be done through the avenue of professional wrestling, then it's an indictment on things that have happened in this sport's past. I look forward to bringing this sport into the present. I look forward to knocking Juice Robinson's teeth down his throat. Most of all, I look forward to getting back the Triple B. So...
May I?
Yeah.
I still think that a scripted sports entertainment segment, when you're acting like you're taking on the, there's never ever any reason to be anything but horrified when any child is being murdered, mutilated, held hostage, any older woman, women being raped, old men being beaten and killed and beheaded. There's just no, why do we?
I don't think he was making reference to the war.
But he's
Palestine.
saying I'm Jewish.
Right.
Okay, that's great. Then if you really want, maybe make reference to the fact that if you didn't put those settlements in Gaza, and if they didn't continue to put those settlements and just take what little they have, maybe this doesn't escalate to this point. I mean, there's always two sides to every story, and it's just now you put, as soon as you put the terror element into it, there's nobody's going to pick the terrorist side. So now the Jewish rebuttal has to be so PR cleansed, because you can't just go off of hatred to what they've done to your people, to your children, because of all the shit that goes down on a daily basis. Nobody cared that 80% of those Palestinians were sitting in an open-air prison called the Gaza Strip. I mean, people just don't care about that. And it's like, you've just got to, but like I said, you've got the savagery of ISIS. You've got that kind of violent, animalistic hatred. There's nobody that's gonna, like, I'm watching the news today, and I'm watching them drop these bombs, and they're pulling Palestinian children out that look like seals, because they don't have arms and legs. They really don't have anything. They're just kind of, there's these blobs of flesh that they're putting and wrapping in. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is really, this is our world.
It's horrific.
And to sit here and have to fucking talk about wrestling even going anywhere near that when it didn't have to.
No, I don't think MJF was in any way considering that. I think he was just talking about the anti-Semitism toward him.
No, but he clearly said that the guy was a terrorist that attacked him.
So you think drawing allusions to...
It's fucking Punch and Judy. You can't... If he would have just said, I got bullied. I'm Jewish. Left it at that. Because
Right,
that guy that attacked him is not a fucking terrorist.
Right.
I guarantee he's on no fucking terror fucking watches.
Right.
Right? There's your fuck up.
Okay.
Now, how old is he?
How old?
How old is MJ?
I don't know. 30.
Is he 30?
Something. Yeah, sure. Oh, no, 26.
26. Fuck. There you go.
Yeah.
Gets his fucking news on Reddit. I just think it's a bad move. I think it's cheap heat. I wouldn't have touched it in a million fucking years.
Okay. Well done. You know what I would touch? Any old time is...
Oh, hold on. I had to add one thing. And I have Jewish friends.
My best friend's Jewish.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we're back. It's Ask Nash. Hashtag Ask Nash is how you can do this and be a part of it. Not everybody gets an audience with the big man, but you can. Like WCW NWO Collection did, they said, I've decided to get in shape. So I've been doing DDP yoga for the last month or so and lost a stone. I'm not a big guy, but I'm interested in maybe buying some weights to get my arms bigger. What beginner's weights would you recommend? Just free weights, like dumbbells? What?
I want to get my arms bigger. It's just like, come on, uncle.
Well, he's getting in shape. This is part of the whole process.
Yeah, I want guns. It's like, you know what, dude? You got to train your whole body.
Well, he'll get around to that after the arms are in shape.
If you want to do something, put your hands like this and grab a pull-up bar and do pull-ups.
There you go.
That way, you'll put tension on the bottom of your bicep and on the connection, and you do one movement.
I just heard Schwarzenegger on Stern, and he was asking me. He's like, you used to train for 5 hours a day when you were. Was he Mr. Olympia? Was it whatever? Yeah. When he was going for the title. He's like, what the fuck do you do for 5 hours a day? And so Arnold explains in an accent that I'd love to do that he's like, just take your arms for a minute. He said, it's not just like you do your biceps and then you do your triceps. He said, within the bicep, and he went through like 3 different types of, I guess, curls they were to do for different things. One for the height, one to elongate it.
You've got it, yeah. But I mean, you've got the bicep is called a bicep because there's 2 muscles.
Right.
2 muscle heads. Tricep has 3. Right. So if you were to do a close grip bench press for your triceps, you're going to get the majority is going to be on the outside, whereas something this way is going to be inside. It just, but my whole thing is that's when you've got, I mean, you're sculpting your body at that point.
Right, like minute detail in each
and
muscle.
They all those guys in that era overtrained. The guys don't do that now.
Explain.
It's been proven by the guy that came up with it was heavy duty. His name was Ellington Darden. He was actually from DeLand, Florida. He was the guy that created, designed, and built the Nautilus. And his philosophy, along with Mike Menzer, who came up with the heavy-duty system, was to take a muscle and do one work set and take it to failure. So take it to positive failure, which means you can't, say it's bench presses, you can't push it any further, and then negative failure, where you can't have somebody pull it out and then you hold it. So you take and you do that, and then it's like you might do 2 sets for a body part, and then you're done, because his philosophy was you could take a stick of dynamite and you could tap it all day long with one of those little tack hammers and nothing would happen. But if you hit that stick of dynamite with a 25-pound sledgehammer, there would be a chance that it would explode. So that's what you need to do. You need to. So, because the only time your muscle grows is when it's resting, and the more damage you do to the microfibers, the more time it takes for it to heal. And unless you're running so much gear that it doesn't matter, and insulin and growth, and guys aren't doing that. And on top of that, eating, with precision. But there's also, that's why there's been a rash in the last, 10 years of guys that were Mr. Olympia, or that caliber, that have died of heart failure, and because of insulin and the other things that they do. So now it's like, for somebody like myself, I used to train the old Arnold would be, 20 sets for mass, 20 sets for definition. I go in and pick, say back, which is that's a big muscle group. I'll pick six movements and do two working sets of each one. So 12 sets for back. Where in the old days I would have done 30. And and a lot of that is at 64 years old, I just can't recover. By the time I come back to train, if I train chest and I go in to train back 5 days later, half the time my front delts are still sore. It's just like, because I did too much, where now I've kind of got it pieced out where, like, I was going to train chest today, and I was just like, because I've got some stuff in my house I can mess around with, and I just put like 135 on the incline and just pushed it a couple times. I was just like, I could go today, but I'll be much better tomorrow.
So the overtraining. So as time goes on, it's the more we know about the body, the more we know about nutrition, the more we know about training. That's what changed the regimen. Absolutely. From the guys in the 70s to the guys today. Okay.
So to have arms, it's just like, you have to realize that. What should I buy to I want to get bigger arms? Well, number one, if you're going to do anything, you would want to train your tricep, because your triceps 2/3 of your upper arm. So you'd want to have bigger, if you wanted to just concentrate on size of your arms. There's a lot of guys that got baseballs for biceps because they do curls, but they don't do any pressing, and they've got no tricep width, and then they don't do hammer curls, so they don't work the brachialis, so they have no bicep thickness. Like, you just have to know what you're doing.
What about a technique when you hammer it off? Is it like put
hammering off
wrist into it, or to consider it a workout, a viable workout?
I think that the biggest thing is you got to have some girth. You got to be able to snug around it.
Right.
So that alone is going to get your forearms.
Forearm, right.
And then as you're maybe as you're pulling, maybe like coming and maybe turning, getting a little propination on that, balling up that rod. But you don't want to have a rod laver fucking tennis arm. You don't want to have one arm, so you're gonna have to use that fucking. It's politically incorrect what I was about to say, but when you use your opposite hand that you usually jerk with, you know, the one that feels like some fucking...
Does it start with a P?
Yeah.
Okay. Fernum Schnavitz Zabisco III says, I just keep adding names. He's Fernum Schnavitz, Kevin's brother Paul Zabisco III. I absolutely love both of your Sheik impressions. Question for you both. What's your most memorable Sheik moment of all time?
Fuck, dude, my first road trip was with the Iron Sheik. I fucking got in a Cadillac in Atlanta, Georgia, pulled up the baggage claim, and out came Kaz with his bags and his bullshit, and he sat behind me. I've told the story a million times. Sid was sitting in the passenger side. I was behind the wheel, and she said, Sid, who's the giant jabroni? So that was my fucking... It didn't get any better than that.
To which you replied, I'm not a jabroni, Sheik. And he said,
Of course you're not. Of course you're not, Bubba. That's why I called you one.
I love it.
In other words, the fact, at least somebody smartened him up to what a jabroni is.
Yeah. I guess mine was either the diner one where after we did the Stern show, we're in the 4-star diner in Union City, and the check comes, and I want to take it and pay. We had produced the DVD we were plugging, the ring roasts of the Iron Sheik, and he took it, crumbled it up, put it in his pocket. I'm like, Kaz, I'm going to bring another check. What the gets up, we walk to the thing, he takes the owner, the room is clapping. He grabs the owner, he's hugging him, and pushes me out the doors right next to the cash register to Erik Simms' car, which is idling in the driveway, and pointed out. Clearly, this has happened many times before. And we jumped in and pulled out, and about 5 minutes into the silence of the ride, Sheiky turns to Erik and says, Erik, breakfast good for price, Baba. There it is. David beat me to the punch.
I saw Erik Simms at the Jersey signing.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure
we
it
got
looks as good as ever.
We got a chance to talk. I like Erik. His daughter's gotten big.
Yeah. Erik was, I called him a necessary evil in the business. You know, he's a handful to deal with, and I tell him all the time. But you know what? He was reliable. If you booked Kevin Nash for an interview at noon, he was waking Kevin up at 7 for breakfast.
The week before.
To get to my damn set on time. God bless him. My favorite appearance was when Erik walked somebody, because he will pack as much into a weekend as possible. Every dime he's squeezing out. But God bless him, he cuts my price down in half. Ask Scott. And he the only time we can shoot beefcake is 8 a.m. So
oh God, that had to be a fucking lovely one.
We get there at 6. We're setting up, our product. We had lights and mics, and I'm sure he didn't tell Beefcake what he was in for. That was Eric's big thing. I tell the talent as little as possible. The door opens. Beefer stumbles in, probably straight from the bar from last night. Gets in the room, sees us, the lights, the mics, the cameras, and goes, oh, God. And turns around and leaves. Erik retrieves him at some point. And you know what, though? I tell the story in my book. I thought at that point we were going to have the worst interview ever. The guys from your generation and, the time before you, when that light goes on.
Fuck, that's when we're best.
Does not matter what condition you were in 5 minutes before, that you still have the hotel bar on your breath. The light goes on, and it's time to perform. No, because you did market
specifics the same way.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Fuck, man. I mean, if you were done early and you had beer in the car, you knew you had. You wouldn't let's not drink for 3 hours and wait to do these fucking interviews. Fuck that.
Right.
I'm getting shit-faced.
Yep. Never disappointed. Susie Alto. So in Rock of Ages, did Paul Giamatti remind you in any way of Paul Heyman? I'm actually watching it for the 6th or 7th time. I love it for the soundtrack.
God, I had such a great rapport with him. Like a great, we just hung out and laughed. That was such a shit show. It was so unorganized. And they were trying to get Paul to fucking ad-lib. And I remember he looked over at me and goes, "You give me John Adams, 23 pages of it. I'll say it verbatim, but I'm no skit guy." Right. I'd be like, "Hey, well, I'll feed you shit, man." I said, "I'm the exact opposite." I said, "I can come up with my own shit all day long." I said, I ain't going to be able to be doing dialect from John Adams. So
Susie also says, how is it working with Tom Cruise and the monkey?
The monkey loved me. First day, the monkey, we got in there, and his name was Mickey. And he jumped, he looked around, this bar is full of fucking extras. And he looks around and he just fucking jumps. Like, and he's behind me, and he's on a table. And his handler's name is Kevin. And I just feel this, and the fucking thing was gigantic, man. He probably 25 pounds. And it's like having, this thing lurches on me, and then he's like holding on to me, and he's looking around, and all of a sudden we got to walk to where we got the shot set up from. So the first AD's walking me over there. I got the handler with me, and he says, "Are you cool with this?" I said, "I need to get used to him." And the whole time I'm thinking, if this thing starts to fucking try to peel my fucking head back,
throat out.
Yeah, I mean, I said, I'm thinking like, I need to fucking be ready. And I said, nah, he's gonna fucking sense that. He'll sense that I'm fucking out, because he jumped on me, and I could tell he was docile, because he realized like everybody was moving away. They're smart as fuck, man. He realized like this big motherfucker's the alpha.
Right. No fear. He didn't sense the fear.
He said like he's the alpha, and he was just always there. And he would get tired. He would lay his head next to mine, and it was a load, man. I remember we went out and we shot. They built an entire Sunset Strip from that era, the 70s, with 70s cars, the whiskey, everything. Frederick's of Hollywood, and fucking somebody didn't secure his leash. By the count of 3, that orangutan was fucking 30 feet up a fucking telephone pole.
Wow.
I was like, and the fucking trainer's like, "We're going to have to get a fucking cherry picker."
Right.
And we're like, "Oh, this probably going to be a little late on this." And I'm thinking like, these motherfuckers don't even have a range shot. You got an animal on set and you don't have a range shot. You got nothing to fucking pick up, nothing to shoot, like nothing.
You just had to stand around and wait?
Fucking Sebastian Bach was there. Debbie Gibson was there. There was somebody else. They put on like an impromptu concert. Of course, I went to my trailer, opened up a bottle of Shiraz.
Little wine. Exactly.
Little wine. Hey.
An opportunity to go back to the trailer. Like when the stuntmen were in the pads.
I'm going back to the trailer.
Yeah. Who sat in the bleachers and waited? Steve and who waited for the shot when the stuntmen were doing your football stuff, and they were sitting there waiting. Well, what if we're needed?
It wasn't Steve. It was the other. Like, it was like basically everybody else.
Right. Everybody but you.
Everybody but me and Steve. It was just like I looked at that and I'm like, "Where you guys going?" I said, I'd walk right over, man, and I'd fucking look, and see where that thing was positioned and see where it was starting, I'd be like, oh. Because if you can't see my face at the beginning and I'm moving forward, you ain't going to see me in that shot. Like, all right, I'm taking my shoulder pads off and helmet. I'll sit in the shade. Fuck this.
Live audience questions. What do we got out there? I know there's some people with some waiting to say something. Travi Johns. Hey, Big Sexy. Let's say you have final decision on this. Do you bring back the Winged Eagle title design at WM40 in Philly and say the biz never goes in reverse and don't bring it back? Yes, you bring it back.
Yes, it's the best looking belt they ever had.
Okay, there you go. Who else? David, for Kevin, everyone, I need more shows to watch. I've gotten Suits and Succession from you guys so far, and I'd love to hear more. What do you?
How about Ozark?
Okay.
What's a great
one?
one?
Ozark. Which one is that?
That's Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Okay, that's.
What's the one that's Bloodline?
Yeah, you were talking about that one.
Bloodline's amazing. Bloodline's great. Kyle Chandler, Sissy Spacek's in that. Shepard.
Well, I mean, David, if you haven't done
Ozark would be my watch Ozark. Good luck on that one, man, because if you ain't got nothing to do, that's the one, because that's a 4 or 5 a nighter.
That's the family and the drug dealers and that thing, right? Is that what I'm? What I'm going for here?
But it's politicians and I mean,
how about did you ever catch the Offer? It was called, about the making of The Godfather.
Mm-mm.
I think it was on Paramount. That's worth a watch too. It's just a single season. It's like a limited series, I guess, about how The Godfather got made. The guy who plays.
I'm still watching on the making of the Rock Hudson documentary.
The making of the documentary. It's called Blown for Respect. Who else in the house? I saw Tyler Blair. Kev, have you ever watched Documentary Now? Brilliant show, and would love to see you in an episode when they do a Beyond the Mat spoof. Documentary Now. What's it on, Tyler? What network? Where can I see that? Netflix. Okay. Oh, IFC or Netflix. All right. Very good. What else in the house? Anyone else in the house before I move to another question here? James Bedford, Nash. What were your thoughts during the timeline of Survivor Series 94 to winning the title 3 days later? How did it come about? Do you wish the title win was on TV or pay-per-view?
You know what? If you're gonna win it someplace it's not a pay-per-view, I think the Garden's pretty fucking sweet.
Garden's pretty good.
Yeah.
How was Bob? Is he wacky?
Bob's Bob.
Yeah.
He was a pro. He's always been a pro with me. I mean, he was a pro that night. He took it like a champ. Crawled back, selling his back.
Mm-hmm. I heard maybe he's not doing so well. I'll wait till I'll wait till I have more information before I open my fat mouth again. But Rocky Monroe does say, when recording the rant for the WCW games, were you guys given a script or did you just make something up yourself? Some of them felt so forced and corny.
I always did my own. I always said, don't pick me. Go someplace else. I don't want to play. Pick somebody else. I'd always do my own.
For the video games,
yeah.
You're saying, yeah.
They come up and pick me. I say, yeah, go on, don't pick me. I don't want you picking me.
So on the game, as I'm scrolling through wrestlers,
I'm telling
and they're
you,
like, pick me. I get to Nash, and he's like, pick someone else.
I'm telling you, fuck off.
That's great.
Move along.
That's so perfectly you. Chris
I'm
Hibbler.
not getting paid for this.
When did they do those voiceovers? Did you have to go to a studio, or did they just do it backstage with like a mic
backstage,
and an opera?
Just some fucking Bush League,
Yeah.
Hey, the guy doing it be like, hey, motherfuckers, could you shut up? I got to do this thing. And then you do it, and then you go out in the fucking hallway and be right out there yelling with the rest of the idiots.
Chris Hibbler says, hey, Kev, thanks for the recommendation of Wrestlers OVW. It was great. My question is, if they ever went under, do you think WWE and Triple H would hire Al Snow like they did Heyman when ECW folded? Well, hired Heyman. I suspect that was an agreement. You know, that job for life agreement when you do something for somebody. If you look at the bankruptcy filings that I have from ECW, when Paul took control of the company, HHG Inc., you have to list all your debtors that you owe money to. What did he owe $500,000 to the WWE for? What were those payments for? To keep you fat and afloat and alive until I can swallow you whole, but you'll have a job for life, Paul. Take this check. Any questions from the audience? Oh, that was for you, Al Snow. Would you think they would take Al Snow?
I don't know.
Josh Henney. Hi, Josh. Did someone recently write a book about this? In reference to
Todd is God, I believe so.
About the Heyman thing, yeah. Go grab it on audio. You'll enjoy all my impressions on that. Particularly fond of my Too Cold Scorpio. Brandon Douglas, when you go to the Performance Center, do you ever get in the ring and work on things with any of the students?
I've only been down there one time working with anybody. I worked with Amos, and I did actually get in the ring with him.
How are the rings? Are the rings any softer than like the Yokozuna days when you guys were
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Those rings got real soft once Vince started bouncing around.
That's funny.
That's a shoot.
Josh Henney, what is a good workout for just an everyday person to stay fit? Not to get huge, detailed, but stay firm without the blue chew.
All right, number one, I've been lifting weights since I was 12. So I've been lifting weights for 52 fucking years, and I'm not huge. Don't worry, you won't get huge.
You're a very big advocate of the weights. I've talked to you about cardio before, and you said, fuck that, you need to lift weights.
You need to lift, no, because if something, the number one thing that ages you is you lose like 3 to 5, especially after a certain age, you lose like 3 to 5% of your muscle. That's why, see, Trump goes out there and plays golf. People don't think that's a big deal, but he's getting up and out of that cart. He's swinging. He's moving around. That's why at 77 he doesn't look like a marionette when he walks, like Biden does. Like Biden, if Biden would have lifted weights, Biden would be. Because he's naturally lean. He would have looked like almost like a long distance runner. Now he looks like a fucking javelin.
That might be the quote of the week. If Biden had lifted weights, he'd look like a long distance runner, but right now he looks like a javelin. It's my favorite part of the show. All right, let's get one more from the audience. Tyler Blair. Kev, would you ever consider doing fitness consultations? Would love more of your insight on developing a routine. Well, we get a little bit every week
I'm
here.
actually thinking about, because people always ask me questions about training, is putting together, and I'll probably do it for our YouTube, and I'll I do 4 workouts a week. So I'll do basically my chest workout, my back and shoulder workout, my arm workout, and my leg workout. Because I want to do my leg workout so people can like actually watch me train my legs. Because I always do, I'll do a pose and put it on Instagram, and there's always these dumb fucks that say, "Don't forget your legs." If I had $1 for every 25, 30-year-old kid that got in there and says, "Hey, can I work in with you on legs?" I'm like, "Sure you can." And next thing you know, I'm like, "Dude, come on, let's go. You're holding me up." Well, yeah, but I don't. Yeah, you don't train that fast.
You got to
you
explain.
Don't
So you're on a machine.
I'm
and a
on.
guy wants to.
I'm doing leg extensions.
Okay.
All right. Can I work in with you? Absolutely. I do my
What does
set.
that mean? Work
Like,
in with you.
When I finish my set, he can do his.
Okay.
So it's not people like that's gym etiquette. You can always work in with me. But if I get up from doing 12 leg extensions and go over to the leg press and do 12 reps on the leg press and go back over because I'm supersetting leg extensions and leg presses, and he's fucking still sitting over there fucking around, and I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, no, dude. Like, you can't work in with me. You have to. You know,
he's taking too much time. You're
doing leg extensions. You don't need more than 50. If you're doing 50 seconds rest on leg extensions, especially if it's like 60 pounds, it's like warm up. It's like warm up weight, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Wesley, I have been inside of a fucking gym. He had a question for me, which suddenly popped up. Have you ever been inside of a gym? I did. I have. Last time I dedicated myself to losing weight, I lost 18 pounds in a month. I was in the gym 4 times a week. And then I was like, what am I doing? There's so much I can do right now. What am I doing this for?
Well, number one,
I'm not making any money.
When you put muscle on, say for every 3 pounds of muscle you put on, that's the equivalent, like that at rest, your body will burn the calories that it would doing a half hour of cardio every day. So if you put 3 pounds of muscle on, your metabolic rate. The key is this: when you get up in the morning, man, you have got to take protein in immediately. It's called break. It's break fast. It's breaking your fast. You have to, because if you don't break your fast, if you don't eat anything as soon as you get up, your body immediately says, "Oh shit, we're now in function mode, and he's not feeding me. Therefore, I'm going to shut the fuck down." So now your metabolism shuts down because now it's realizing it's not going to be fed. What's the next thing it does? Well, I better start storing fat because I'm not doing shit.
So it works against you not to
absolutely.
Eat anything.
So if you eat something, I by the time I drink my shake and have my herbal tea and use the restroom, it's like now it's time for my oats and my second load of protein. That's an hour and 35 minutes between having drink my protein, have my tea, do my stuff, check my emails, do all that. Now it's just like, now I got to go to the bathroom because I had the tea. Now I'm starving. Now I eat. And then depending on how soon I'm going to train, whether I'm going to take my carbs in there, and I'll always take in some protein. And then, but then it's like, do I take my pre-workout? Do I take all those things then? Because now I got a 45-minute window that I've got to be in the car and on my way to the gym. So in the minute I get done with my workout, I take dextrose. I take it's a post-workout. So the dextrose goes in, and it just kind of, like, you can, like, Jay Cutler, when he was at Mr. Olympia, would drink a fucking Coke. Like, you have, like, there's a window after you work out where you can pretty much eat anything. Not, I can't at my age, but those guys, you know, they can. And then by feeding that, then by the time I get home, within an hour, hour and a half's time, like, then you have to have your meals ready because you're going to get behind. So I just saw where the guy that I follow, Chris, it's C-Bomb, C-B-U-M is what you can look up on YouTube. He's the classical Mr. Olympia. He's won like the last 4 times. And I've kind of follow him because he's a bigger guy. He's like 6 foot, 6'1", which is big for a bodybuilder. But he's big boned like I am. And but he has the ability to function on like fucking 2,500 calories a day when he's getting ready for a contest and still carry an incredible. He's built like Schwarzenegger, but he's, yeah. I mean, and this is a guy that's not, he's not a gear guy. I mean, he's not jacked up on gear. You can just see it. His skin is perfect. I guarantee his blood panels are amazing. And that's, to me, though that's not obtainable but that's still, you have to have goals, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, my goal is to get the hell out of here soon, so I'm going to remind everyone that Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, whose blood panels are not perfect. Producer Steve Kaufman.
They will be.
Graphics by Dominic D'Angelo. Title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2023. Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, you want to do another one?
Yes. I want to wrap this up real quick because I want everybody. I want the team to talk for a few seconds before we break. So I want to say thank you to everybody that watched us tonight. But we have some pretty important inside team stuff that we need to talk.
Customer service never answers a thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never